We have a great guest who has great insight on all of this landscape around late night television. We're joined by Vinnie Favale, the former head of late night programming at CBS, one of the founders of Comedy Central, worked closely with David Letterman. Howard Stern was there for the launch of the now soon to be canceled Stephen Colbert Late Show. Vinnie, thanks so much for joining us once again here on Connecting
Thanks for having
America.
me.
Boy, you know about the inner workings of networks. Bring us inside. What do you think that conversation was like between ABC and Jimmy Kimmel with his attorney there and his manager there? Why did they bring him back, do you think?
Well, the way the whole thing played out now in retrospect, and it probably wasn't intentional on ABC's part, is incredible. I think at a certain point, pulling him off the air woke everybody up. When they were attacked, when Trump sued them for the George Stephanopoulos statements that they ended up paying money for, a lot of legal experts say ABC could have easily had won that. That was a quick cave in. In this case, it turned up the heat on everyone, including themselves, obviously. And this is a big moment for Dana Walden because she's one of the executives in line to replace Iger. And if this thing blows up, and it's not over yet. I mean, last night was an incredible TV, an incredible moment, but I think this is far from over with all that you guys just laid out. But it I'm really happy that Kimmel made clear that even while he was thanking ABC for the support over the years, he was not happy about being pulled off the air. And I like that.
And so,
and I like.
yeah, go ahead. You can finish your thought, Vinny.
I just like that he didn't bend the knee to Disney as well. He's like, look, because it's such an easy victory. As you mentioned earlier, there are contracts. The affiliates can't cherry pick the programming. You have to take everything. If you have a problem with something, and we've had it in the past where maybe there was something topical and Dave made a joke and one affiliate was upset, they would sue for a night, they would maybe yank the show, and that was it. You can't do it. So I think ABC, hopefully in those talks with Kimmel, felt they had the confidence to support him in court if they had to.
Oh, that's interesting. And so, Vinny, I mean, who was the ultimate decision maker here? Bob Iger? How did this happen? And behind the scenes, who said this is enough is enough? We're not going to acquiesce to, FCC pressure. Do you have any sense of who the ultimate decision maker would have been?
Ultimately, I think it would be Bob Iger and Dana Walden, or Bob Iger letting Dana Walden make the decision because she's the head. She's oversees that whole part of Disney. But I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision. But again, taking him off the air was really brilliant. It's almost like, you can't fire me, I quit. Okay, now you have to deal with the fact that I just walked out the door, and you may have been responsible for over 200 people losing their jobs, which again, I love that Jimmy name checked that as well. Like these guys who are trying to keep unemployment, down, are literally firing people, getting people fired. Like Colbert. I love that Kimmel mentioned Colbert twice last night. I still can't believe we're not talking about Colbert. I know it's not as sexy as the Kimmel thing, and that was a case where a corporation, Paramount or CBS at that point, before the joining, caved in and said, no, we agree with you. We want this deal to go through, and we don't like this guy, so we're good with that, And I hope people turn it back to Colbert, because it's insane.
I have talked to a couple close to the situation that made no mistake. This is a Bob Iger 100% call, just from what I've told, and it should be. What did you make? There was so many of you asked, would Jimmy apologize? Yes, he did not say the word, but it was heartfelt and it was also pointed. What was your assessment of that monologue?
The monologue was so great because it started off with the joke. Yeah, I love when they do those compilation news clips, just to bring everyone up to date, and then you cut to Jimmy backstage with those costumes. Yeah, that was great. I thought it was funny. It was all the beats that Letterman was so good at. Like the closest I could come to it, and it's not really the same thing, but when Letterman did the first show after 9/11, no one knew what was going to happen. I'm sure the same with Kimmel. What's he going to say? What's he going to do? And of course, Letterman did an amazing job with that. I love the fact that Kimmel's version of an apology was, for those of you that took it the wrong way, I hear you. It's like, I hear you, not like, I'm sorry if it offended you. That's the cliche that people say where the non-apology apology. And the way Kimmel did it was so pitch perfect. I would be mad too. It's like I hear you. And then reading the letter from Disney, and I didn't know where that was going to go, and hitting on reconnecting instructions on how to reconnect your Disney Plus and Hulu. That ABC, the execs had to be high fiving each other because it really was it was beautifully done. It was perfect.
We know his contract runs through 2026, I believe. Do you think he is thinking ahead to, do I want to stick around after all this? Does this put some more
Oh, yeah.
gas in the tank for continuing beyond 26? And will the network want him to re-sign? What do you think might happen there?
That's a great expression, putting gas in the tank, because it sounded like Kimmel had been thinking about winding it down. He's got so many other interests and so many other things that he could do. And I know he's doing, I think, a YouTube show or something about conspiracies, a rabbit hole. But I think it added fuel to the fire. And, 26 is when his contract is up. And I think he might want to do a nice round number of whatever his anniversary is, 20th or 25th. I could see him staying on, and I'd be shocked if ABC didn't want him there. I mean, I know it's going to be rough going, but this was a line in the sand. And one more thing, I saw it last night on YouTube Live, the Kimmel thing. So you might want to research that. But I was watching in real time on YouTube, which is, by the way, genius, because they could make it available even with for the markets that are not getting it. They could make it, I think, IP driven, with the internet address. So yeah, I saw that
Right,
last night.
and that's interesting, Vinny. And also, our producer just telling us that it's now up to 7 million views. We're not even 12
Yeah,
hours into this, so there's obviously a lot of interest in what Jimmy Kimmel had to say. Because let's face it, it's not really about Kimmel; it's about freedom of speech. It's about if we're going to
absolutely.
cancel comedians, all of that stuff. So the fact that there are now at least 58 stations that say they're not going to carry the Sinclair stations, etc. So will that end up affecting Kimmel? Will that end up affecting ABC? Will that go into their decision about what happens next, or because of YouTube and social media, does it not matter?
Yeah, I don't think it matters. And then and Hulu especially, which they own. But yeah, if they should do a deal with YouTube and they could just fill in the blanks. And plus, I think his ratings are going to be higher because of all of this, not just for last night, but moving forward. And that could make up for some of the loss of rating from those markets.
All right, Vinnie Favale, thank you for being here this morning on this important day for freedom of speech,
Yeah.
late night television, and all of it.